And now a word from our sponsor. And Pachi's began in the summer of 2004 in Palo Alto with an expert pizza maker with a passion for her fresh, deep dish pizza and genuine hospitality. Today, Pachi's delicious pizza and signature customer experience is a neighborhood favorite. When you walk through the door of Pachi's, you're in for a treat. When you sit down at our table, your family, enjoy a Pachi's pizza today. Hello and welcome back for the second game of tonight's boys and girls matchup between the Los Altos Eagles and the Palo Alto Vikings. In the earlier game, the girls game, Palo Alto won handily. Will we see that here as well? We will see. But one thing is for sure, Los Altos have to be on top of their game versus a very talented Palo Alto Vikings team. Some players to watch tonight would be.
Well, for me, I think you always got to watch out on the Los Altos Eagles. Got to watch out for Dan Rosenbaum. He's a great player. He's about 6'4", 6'5", and he can shoot the ball as well as take it into the hole and put up and get to the basket and get whatever he wants. And he's really just a great player for the Los Altos team. And then on the Palo Alto side, got to watch out for Johnny Rojan and Kevin Mullen. Probably the two guards for the Vikings. They really complement each other very well. They've been playing together for a long time, and they know each other's games really well. And they're also very deadly from the three-point line at times.
Definitely. Last week we saw a very dominating effort by the Vikings against the Wilcox Chargers, and the trend repeated itself on Tuesday night against Milpitas. Will we see that again today?
Well, I think
we'll see.
I think that Paly really has been playing better after they had a 2-game skid against Homestead and Los Gatos, two teams that they would have really liked to beat, as they could have maintained sole possession of first place in the Anza League, but they didn't play to their best. They didn't play to their full abilities, and they didn't win those games, because every team in this league is good. And like their first game against Los Altos isn't in the top half of the league, but their first game came down to the last play when Alex Dees hit 2 free throws as time expired to get the Vikings a 1-point victory. So I don't think it'll be that exciting this time, but I expect it to be a close game.
Definitely, as we mentioned, the standings in the Deonza League. Palo Alto on top with a 6-2 win-loss in league, 15-4 overall. Fremont tied for first with a 6-2 in league win-loss and a 14-5 overall. Los Gatos 4-3 league, 10-9 overall, followed by Homestead 4-4 league, 13-6 overall. And then trailing are these Los Altos Eagles with a 3-4 record in league and a 9-10 overall, riding a 2-game win streak. Just behind them, the Milpitas with the record of 3-5 in league and 9-10 overall. And finally, rounding out the list, as they do also with the girls, is Wilcox at 1-7 win-loss, a 7-11 overall record. As the Los Altos players are entering the court now to get ready for this big matchup against the Vikings. Los Gatos right now maintains a distant third in the Deonza League, but with a win tonight, they could trim that lead by Palo Alto to a mere 1 game, and they'd certainly like that. Also to avenge the loss to Palo Alto earlier in the season at home. And this is the starting lineup for Palo Alto.
Number 24, senior Alex Dees. Co-captain number 5, senior Johnny Rojan. And co-captain number 21, senior Paly Mullen. Coach for Palo Alto, Adam Sachs. Assistants, Eric Olai, Jason Pringle, and Pete Madsen.
As we now get ready to get underway with the first period. 8 minutes, of course, on the clock. And heading up to midcourt to start this game. Once again, for those of you just joining us, I'm Alex Ross alongside Benner Mullen here with MC Sports Live for the Paly Gym for tonight's game between the Palo Alto Vikings and the Los Altos Eagles.
Los Altos clearly the taller side here, but somehow the tip goes to the Vikings and Johnny Rojan gets the ball to bring it up to start the first quarter.
And Rojan passes off to and Svirsky passes it. That one to Mullen. And a sling sidearm to Svirsky, who fails to put that one through. And that one's passed to Nolan Brennan. And back to the aforementioned Dan Rosenbaum, who is probably, just by sight, the tallest player on the court tonight. And the pass, that one back to McCoy. The shot, no good off the backboard. Going past up to Rojan. And that shot is...
Good offensive rebound there by Justin Hill, but couldn't find the Palo Alto Viking to give it back out to him, so he turns it over.
And that one is passed and bobbled by Justin Hull, but that one goes through.
Great pass by Mullen there, feeds it through a couple defenders and finds Hull for a layup, which he collects nicely for the nice layup.
And Thomas Kelleher will pass it off to McCall. McCall back to Kelleher. Pardon me, Rosenbaum. And the shot is good for two.
It's number 12, Nolan Brennan, a freshman. I actually played against Brennan in NJB last year.
And Oliver Svirsky shows some speed and agility there, putting that one in the basket, sneaking behind the Los Altos defenders. And a nice pass off to Dan Rosenbaum there. And Rosenbaum bumbles it. And that will go back to Palo Alto. Bringing this one in will be Kevin Mullen. Pass to Rojan. Mullen runs up the right side. Back to Mullen. Mullen with the shot. Good.
Look for that to be a common theme, as number 12, Brennan, is a lot shorter than Mullen, and Mullen seems to be able to shoot over the top of his head in the 2-3 zone.
Score 7-2. Palo Alto leads.
Another turnover there for the Eagles, and sloppy first few minutes here as they struggle to get their composure together. Although this was what happened in their first meeting, as Paly jumped out to an early lead, but then the Eagles were able to fight back and get themselves back into the game.
Pass back to Mullen. Mullen taken outside to Svirsky. Svirsky out, and Mullen puts that one through.
That's Mullen's second three in the first 3 minutes. They're going to have to close them out better if they want him to stop making threes all day.
Mullen came out to a quick start against Wilcox as well, but definitely slowed down later in the game. Hopefully for Paly, you can keep it going. And that one goes through on the shot from Simon Heck.
Mullen's heating up so far. That's 3 threes on 3 consecutive possessions, and they gotta contest better. Although that was a very tough shot, probably ill-advised. I'm not sure Coach Adam Sachs would like that shot selection.
And it's 13-4. Mullen playing some nice defense there, as is Svirsky. And that three is no good off the hands of Dylan Zom. Svirsky passes back. And Rojan gets the steal.
That's McCall with the steal in the fast break and before he's hammered to the ground by Dees. Maybe that was Hull. Hard foul by Hull there to send McCall to the line. Looks like he's a bit shaken up from that play.
And a couple substitutions here for Paly. That'll take us to a stoppage of play with 4 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the first period.
Great start so far by the Vikings. They've been getting up and down the field court in transition and they've been driving baseline and kicking out to the 3-point line for open threes that they've been connecting on so far.
Definitely, Palo Alto has been lighting it up from outside the arc, and we'll see if that trend can continue. Although, as we saw last week against Wilcox, if you rely too much on the three, it will start to bite you. However, Palo Alto was quick to adapt as they started to use their physical edge over Wilcox to just wear them down on the inside. However, that might not be the case today, as you could probably make the argument that they're not actually as physically talented as Los Altos.
Los Altos has some very talented players, such as Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum is a great touch on the inside, great touch on the outside, and he has great handles too. All around great player.
Pass to Brennan. Brennan passes out. Simon Heck with that one. Heck, the freshman, of course.
Los Altos starting 2 freshmen today, and last time neither of these freshmen were on the roster. So it's interesting play by the coach. Although both of them have been playing pretty well. Brennan with one of their only 2 baskets.
As I mentioned, Coach Bob McFarland making some interesting moves today. Definitely hoping shaking things up a little bit will help his team get a win over Palo Alto.
Foul on the floor. Rosenbaum on the drive, but he was nicked before he got the shot up, so it won't be 2 shots for Rosenbaum.
And that is the second team foul to go against Palo Alto.
For Alex Dees, who's only about 6 feet, and McCall about 6'6". Height will always win out on that.
And checking into the game right now, that will be Rojan. Making his way over, that will be Dorward, pardon me. Making his way off the field to be Miles Tension. And Svirsky playing some good defense. And a wide open 3 right there by Dylan Zom.
Some great ball movement by the Eagles on that play, really spreading the floor, getting everyone involved, and driving and kicking to get the open 3.
The score goes 13-9, Palo Alto leads. Mike Brandy punches that one through for 2, and it's 15-9. Carrying this one up is Ahmad Washington for Los Altos. Washington regains the ball. And that one was passed over to McCall. Sidearm sling from Kelleher. Back to Washington. Back to Kelleher.
Good strip by Mullen on that. It goes right to Svirsky, who takes it coast to coast, but can't put it in for the layup.
And Washington's going to carry that up for Los Altos. This Los Altos team has a lot more men than this Palo Alto team, as is evident by looking at their bench. We'll see if that is an advantage or a disadvantage for them today. And that one is passed back over to Patrick McCall. And that will take us to a stoppage in play with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first period. The score 15-9. The Palo Alto Vikings lead the Los Altos Eagles. And that'll be Miles Tension carrying that one over half court. Back to Mullen. Mullen doesn't have the 3 as Washington's right on him. The pass back to Grandy. Grandy to forward.
Dorwood got fouled in the paint there. Dorwood, a freshman who really stepped up for the Vikings, getting some serious minutes and contributing very well to the team this year so far.
And taking this one in will be Mullen. Taking this one in will be Mullen. And it appears that no. Mullen will be
There's been a technical foul call on the Los Altos coach. Appears he said something to the referee. I'm not sure what, but he's pleading his case. But Mullen will take 2 free throws, and they'll get their ball back on the end line.
And the shot from Mullen is good. Messy, but good. And not as quiet as you would usually expect on a free throw. In fact, quite loud in here. And the score goes 17-9. Palo Alto leads by 8.
Now the Vikings will get the ball back after the technical, so a chance to extend their lead to over 10 points and get a commanding lead to start this first quarter.
And bringing this one in will be Mullen, who is towering over the referee as he towers over his opponents. And there appears to be a stoppage in play as there's a little bit of a disagreement going on over there at the scorer's table. Checking into the game for the Vikings is Alex Dees. Back to tension. Washington playing some stellar defense there in tension. And Dees is unable to get the shot up. And that'll be a foul called on Los Altos.
Dees hit hard while on the way up, and we'll see if he can convert these 2 free throws. He's been shooting pretty well from the line so far this year.
Absolutely. And Dees, in fact, won the last game against Los Altos for this team with 2 game-winning free throws. Certainly not that kind of pressure right now, but Palo Alto could definitely use some revenge, and a larger lead would help. If Palo Alto wants to maintain part of the lead for first in the Deonza League, they have no wiggle room. They had some, and they used it up with a couple of tough losses to Los Gatos and Homestead.
Rosenbaum trying to get to the basket. He gets swarmed by about 3 Paly defenders, and ref calls a foul before he puts his shot up. So Los Altos will inbound the ball from under the basket.
And that one's passed over to Washington. Washington will carry. The shot up and off the rim. That one to Mullen.
Good board by Alex Dees. Mullen takes it coast to coast, and in the lane in traffic, he puts it up and in. I think Mullen has about 13 now in the first quarter. Looking for a career high game right here.
Mullen punches it there right over Washington.
Another turnover for the Eagles. It's getting sloppy right now. Mullen looks for the 3. It's nothing doing, and then he turns it over on a sloppy play right there. You gotta fix that up real quick.
And Patrick McCall receives the turnover. And Alex Dees will pass it up to Miles Tension.
Dan Rosenbaum will convert the Paly mistake with an easy layup to cut the lead to 9.
And Miles Tension's gonna try to use a little bit of his strength. And bringing it around the outside is Dees, and that is turned over.
Almost another sloppy play by the Vikings, but they got bailed out by poor hands on Rosenbaum.
And that will take us to the end of the period. And now we would like to give you a word from Pachi's Pizza. And now a word from our sponsor. And Pachi's began in the summer of 2004 in Palo Alto with an expert pizza maker with a passion for her fresh, deep dish pizza and genuine hospitality. Today, Pachi's delicious pizza and signature customer experience is a neighborhood favorite. When you walk through the door of Pachi's, you're in for a treat. When you sit down at our table, you're family. Enjoy a Pachi's pizza today.
Great start for the Vikings here in the first quarter as they jump out to a 20-11 lead. They usually score, looking at the stats, the Vikings usually put up the most points in the second quarter, so we'll see if that rings true today. If so, they could be holding a great lead today, or a comfortable lead at halftime.
Absolutely. And Coach Bob McFarland is saying some things to Ahmad Washington, who is making his way out to center court right now. And really physical play over there on the edge by Simon Heck. Heck, a very tall freshman. And Mike Randy gets that one. Kevin Mullen showing that speed. And Rose.
A little bit of a wild and crazy shot there by Mullen. I don't think he should try that again. That was very ill-advised.
Definitely, and a beautiful three-pointer there by Tommy Andrews. And Kevin Mullen dishes that one off. And Johnny Rojon with the shot that time, no good.
Rojon, a very pure shooter. He'll usually hit those. He's a very high percentage from the three-point line. We'll look to see if he can make some of those later in the game.
Max Dorward playing defense from a distance there. Passed off. Right back to Dylan Zong. And the buzzer will sound.
Rosenbaum with another turnover. It looks like he just dribbled it off of his leg or knee, and I think that's the second time that's happened to him, so see if he can clean that up.
Absolutely. And that is Johnny Rojon with the ball. Oliver Svirsky trying to get open to no avail. And there's the pass to Svirsky. Back to tension to Dorward.
Great look by Dorward to find the man on the block, and then he kicks it out for three. And there's Rojon with his range, knocking down a deep three and re-extends the lead to 9.
And Rojon makes it a 9-point game. And there's one of those beautiful three-point shots that we are accustomed to seeing from Rojon. And
Paly with the steal, he tries to take it all the way down coast to coast, but he gets hit off the side of the backboard, and then Svirsky no good on the three.
And that is no good from Svirsky. Passed off to Washington, who fakes the shot. And then Washington, a very speedy player, but definitely disadvantaged because of his short stature.
Great hustle there by Max Dorward after he slipped to try to keep his dribble alive. Even made a nice pass that could have gone for a layup, but Coach Adam Sachs of the Vikings called timeout before that play could develop.
Definitely, and that will take us to a stoppage in play. So give us a brief period to go over the fouls for each of these teams. We've got 3 apiece, so a very even game in the foul department. Although neither team has made any particularly ill-advised fouls, definitely a pretty smart game in terms of the way it's been played. And the players will retake the court.
Both these teams know each other very well. They played each other multiple times before, and they know who's good at what and what they're gonna do, and they can adapt to that and try to anticipate what play they'll make next.
That one passed into Svirsky to Rojon. Rojon to Bicknell. to Rojan, to Svirsky. Svirsky fakes the shot. Back to Rojan, no good.
McCall hauls in that board. And
Patrick
his
McCall,
height.
the senior, continues having a very, very nice game on defense. Very tall player, indeed. Taking that one around the outside is Thomas Kelleher. Now that one is Kyle Cunningham. Pass back to Cunningham. And the shot clock hits 5.
Cunningham called for a travel. Although I don't think it would have mattered. They were still holding on to the ball with about 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Definitely, and now tossing this one in will be Corey Bicknell to Mullen, to Bicknell. To Hull. And Svirsky puts that one through.
Great cut on that play. Paly loves the backdoor. They're in it all the time. It's all about backdoor cuts, double screens, all those good things. And that time the backdoor worked to perfection. Svirsky get a wide open layup.
And Mullen with some nice defense there. And back to Cunningham. Cunningham dishes it off.
Svirsky D'ing up Dan Rosenbaum, which is an interesting matchup. Rosenbaum's got at least 3 inches on Svirsky. Interesting to see how Rosenbaum will take care of Svirsky.
And the shot, it is good for 2 from Nolan Brennan. Nolan Brennan, the younger of the 2 Brennans. And that one will be carried up by Dan Rosenbaum. And that will lead us to Cunningham bringing it in. To come again.
That foul on Mullen is first. He has struggled with foul trouble, getting into foul trouble all year and all his career. And we'll like to see if he picks up another quick one in this before the end of this half.
And it's good. It's 25-18, a 7-point lead for the Vikings. And Kevin Mullen will take it across half court. Back to Mullen. To Bicknell. Bicknell with the shot. No good.
Bicknell is fouled by number 5, Tommy Cummigan. And we saw that in the girls' game. Los Altos fouled, Paly shooting a 3, and we'll see it again tonight. The boys, Los Altos fouls, Paly shooting a 3. And that's just inexcusable mistakes. You never foul someone shooting a 3. It's just 3 free throws, could be 3 easy points.
Definitely. And throwing this one from the line is Bicknell, pardon me. And it's 27-18. Paly takes a 9-point lead. And carrying this one up is Nolan Brennan. Passed off to Cummigan. Cummigan passed it back to Brennan. Brennan passed it back. And the 3 is no good off the hands of Kelleher. Pass to Svirsky. Nice job keeping it in by Svirsky on the bad pass for Mullen.
Ooh,
Mullen behind the back to Tension. And Tension makes it worth his while. Nailing the 3. 30-18 Vikings lead.
Tension's a really key player for the Vikings. He only puts up a few shots a game, but he sure makes them count. He usually gets 2-3 threes a game, and that's just critical for the Vikings.
Definitely, the Vikings have relied a lot on three-pointers this season. And in this game, the score 30-18, Paly leads. As you can see, both teams over there on timeout, as that one was called by the Eagles. Fouls are 4-4 going into this point in the game. And both teams will now retake the court. That one's passed off. Back over the middle to come again. And it almost looked like Rosenbaum was being held there by Swirsky. I'm surprised there was no
Nolan
foul.
Brennan for three in the corner. Brennan's a really good shooter. He always knows, he always hits a critical shot when the team needs it most.
And Mullen just fighting off defenders to Grandy. To Dees, and Dees puts it through.
Great shot by Dees. Mullen with the shot pass to Grandy. Grandy goes up and grabs it. Great play by Grandy to keep the play alive and prevent the
Dees
turnover.
almost takes out Come Again, too. Speaking of Come Again with the ball. Come Again passed off to Kelleher. Back to Kelleher. And Patrick McCall takes a shot there. And we will see what the call is. Interesting. Several players fell to the floor in the middle. I assume that there was a foul somewhere in there. And the foul will be on Paly. And that one is passed in to McCall. And to Washington. Washington back out to Kelleher. Back to Kelleher. Kelleher with the shot, and it's good. 32-20.
Los Altos can have about 5 shooters on the floor most of the time, so always deadly from the three-point line if they get an open look.
Back to Tension. Tension dishes it out. And Oliver Swirsky back to Roja. And Swirsky's shot is no good.
Good box out by Hull there to grab the offensive board.
And once again, no good by Swirsky, who will go to the line for some free throws.
Be really nice if Swirsky could put these in and give Paly a 10-point lead. Maybe they can get a double-digit lead going into the half. A little insurance policy.
And perfect shot there. And he'll be looking to make another. And Swirsky getting ready. Swirsky with the shot.
Offensive board by Alex Dees and Justin Hull. They tag team it to Tension in the corner. Tension a good shooter, but no cigar on that one. Hits front rim.
Washington to McCall. Back. And it's good. 33-27.
Nolan
Palo Alto
Brennan
lead.
feeling it from downtown tonight. That's his second three, and he has a couple other baskets as well.
That one is good, and Washington will carry it across half court. Washington dishes it out. And Kelleher will make it worth his while.
Paly's trying to put Los Altos away in double digits, but Los Altos just not wanting to go away. They keep fighting and keep getting baskets and respond to Paly's baskets.
The score is 35-29. Palo Alto leads Los Altos. And that one is good from Kelleher. Pass off the outside. Back to Swirsky. Swirsky dishes it out. And Mullen's going to pass it back to Swirsky.
A little too late there by Mullen. He either should have just dished it right away or should try to put up a shot. Not sure what he was thinking on that one.
That'll take us to the end of the first half of this one. Score 35-30, Palo Alto leads.
good first half by Paly and by Los Altos. Both teams are shooting pretty well, and there's been some pretty solid defense. Very good game by both teams all around. I'm excited to see what they can bring for us in the second half.
Definitely. Once again, I'm Alex Ross alongside Benner Mullen. We'll be talking to you again shortly. Keep the headset on. And now a word from our sponsor. And Pachi's began in the summer of 2004 in Palo Alto with an expert pizza maker with a passion for her fresh, deep dish pizza and genuine hospitality. Today, Pachi's delicious pizza and signature customer experience is a neighborhood favorite. When you walk through the door of Pachi's, you're in for a treat. When you sit down at our table, your family, enjoy a Pachi's pizza today. Hello and welcome back to the second half of tonight's game between the Palo Alto Vikings and the Los Altos Eagles. I'm Alex Ross alongside Benner Mullen here with MC Sports. It was a very eventful first half as Palo Alto leads 35-30 in what's been a pretty tight game, although maybe not quite as tight as the score would indicate. Palo Alto has probably been dominating a lot more than the score would show, but Los Altos has done a great job of not letting this game get away from them.
I agree with you on that one, Alex. Los Altos has been trailing by about 10 points most of the game. Paly had chances to put them away, capitalize on their opportunities, and maybe send the lead to 15 points and have a really comfortable lead going into the half. But Los Altos fought, and they stayed in the game, and here they are, only 5 points down and looking to strike and take the lead.
Absolutely. Definitely a dangerous Los Altos team with players like Dan Rosenbaum and Patrick McCall, who both have a lot of height and a lot of talent, as we saw in the first half. Although that could definitely be matched by Paly, who can boast their own stars, including Kevin Mullen and Johnny Rojan. However, Rojan didn't really show up in the first half. Who I was actually pleasantly surprised by was Oliver Svirsky. Definitely pretty dominant inside the arc, showing off a lot of his strength.
Svirsky definitely had a pretty solid first half. Had a couple nice drives, maybe hit a three or two, and he played some good defense, got some boards. So just all around solid first half in contributing to the Vikings' performance.
Absolutely.
As you can see, Coach Sachs talking over with his players, drawing up his next masterful play to get their next bucket and hopefully send them on their way to win this game.
Definitely. And both teams will come out and take the court now to begin the second half.
Los Altos will start the second half the way they started the first half with Brennan, McCall, Heck, Rosenbaum, and Kelleher.
To Svirsky. To Dees. And Mullen with the shot, no good.
Mullen comes out firing, but we'll see if he's hitting.
And it's good.
It appears that Mullen is back and dialed in, as it only takes him one shot to locate the basket again.
Definitely. As Palo Alto trying to play some defense here.
Haven't seen much of Heck so far. Heck tries to drive in the lane and put up a shot, but it goes off back iron, no good.
And Palo Alto almost gets the turnover, but not quite. And Los Altos then.
Mullen with the steal and the finish, the pass. Never mind, not the finish. He spins around past the Rojan. Rojan gives it back to Hull. And there's going to be a foul on the floor before the shot.
It's too bad. That was a very impressive sequence.
Quite a sequence of events there. Mullen, who's top in the league and one of the top players in the league for steals per game, comes up with a steal and then a crazy spin move and a drive in the lane, but no basket or foul for the Vikings.
Definitely unfortunate. And that one's dished the outside to Mullen.
Rojan looking to get involved in the offense there as he hits his second three of the game, and the Vikings lead now up to 11.
Vikings lead 41-30 with just over 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the half.
Rosenbaum looks like he's trying to get going a little bit. We haven't seen much of him in the first half. First time the Vikings played the Eagles, Rosenbaum only missed like about two shots and had almost 30 points. So a little quieter of a game tonight from him so far, but you never know with him. He could go off in the second half.
Definitely. With an impact player like him on your side, you can never count yourselves out of a game. And that's definitely what we've seen from Los Altos, is they keep fighting. Despite how badly they've been outplayed, they've managed to keep it tight. And although you can say, well, they haven't played that well, that takes some talent itself. And it's good.
Rosenbaum only hits 1 out of 2 free throws, which is a little bit surprising, as he's usually locked in on the arc and on the free throw line, my bad, and he almost never misses those.
And Svirsky. And Mullen with the shot, it's good.
Mullen is heating up tonight, and he is looking to get that shot from the three-point line, and he's not missing when he gets a good look. Contested or not, he's letting it fly.
Mullen's having a very nice night tonight, although not quite reminiscent of what we saw a little over a week ago against Los Gatos in a devastating loss for Paly, but one of his best performances of the season. Probably can't get up to that level again, but certainly seeing some aspects of that performance.
No, I really think that it's not really that important how well one player plays or how many points one player can score in a game. It's really all about how the team plays together as one and how well they can work together to play well and get easy baskets and get everyone involved, not just one player putting up a lot of points.
Absolutely, definitely a very good team. They really spread the wealth around. Although, from what we've seen from Los Altos tonight, the same could be said for them, as it's been substitution after substitution after substitution.
Los Altos likes to get everyone in, and they have a very deep bench, so they sub in a lot of people.
Certainly, and Paly leads by 13, their biggest lead of the night. And this is one of those instances where they have a chance to pull away, but will they? Given what we've seen tonight, the odds seem to be against it.
I think the Vikings get a stop here and a bucket on the other end. This could be a big turn of events for the Eagles, as they might fall out of this a little bit.
Absolutely. That one passed them back, and no good, but they get the rebound. McCall with the rebound, that is. And
Paly has got to box out and got to get those defensive rebounds. They can't allow the Eagles to get those second and third chance points, because eventually they're either going to get a basket or a foul, and a foul is what they got here. And Rosenbaum going to the line, he's an excellent free throw shooter. I expect him to make both of these. Rosenbaum seems to be struggling a little bit from a line tonight, 1 of 3. Very uncharacteristic. Usually he hits very high percentage of his free throws. We'll see if he can put this one in.
Coach McFarlane offering some words of encouragement. And no good again.
Rosenbaum misses both. Never seen that happen before.
And the shot, perfect again from Mullen.
Kevin Mullen is in the zone tonight. He's not missing. He'll shoot wherever he likes and whenever he likes, and he's just thinking it's going to go in.
Mullen with a nice attempt at the save there, but can't quite do it, as the pass from Hull was just a little bit over his head.
That one just got away from a little bit, scraped off his fingertips. Next time they're going to have to capitalize on that. Good opportunity on the steal for a fast break points, maybe a 20-point lead.
Definitely, and yet another instance where Paly just couldn't quite pull away. And that one is driven and no good on the shot
Nassif taking it to the rack, getting fouled. Nassif a very dominant inside presence. We'll see if he can put these 2 free throws away.
And as you can see there, Nassif just said no and really, really put that one home. And great shot there once again from Nassif. And this one is perfect from Nassif. And Mullen slings it. Interception.
Sloppy pass by Dees. Brennan takes it to their end and he puts it in the layup. Nolan Brennan, the freshman, having a phenomenal game. Definitely in the double digits for points here, and no one expected this from him.
Definitely not. As we're near the end of the third period, Palo Alto leads by 12, 47-35 with 4:40 remaining.
It's important for the Vikings that they get a basket here and don't allow Eagles to have a chance to cut it to under 10 points again.
Deej to Svirsky, to to Rojan.
Shot pass by Rojan. Great look for Rojan to get the shot pass to Grandy, who just puts it up for a nice, easy layup. No one can match Grandy's physical dominance, size, height, and weight.
And the shot there, or I suppose you could say lack thereof, is not in. And definitely the right call there as it got a little bit physical there.
Confused out why that wasn't called out of bounds as it hit the pole at the top of the basket, which is technically out of bounds, and if the ball does hit that, it should go the other way. Shame that the referees missed that call, as it could be a critical call later in the game.
Definitely, and another opportunity where Los Altos gets a chance to make this close again. And Palo Alto just can't quite put their foot on the gas. They're so close, and yet so far. Checking into the game now is number 1, Max Dorward. Making his way over the sideline is number 24, Alex Dees. And the shot here is good.
Nassif puts them both in.
Mullen showing that spin, showing that strength to Grandy. Grandy passes it out. Back to tension, and that one had no chance there.
Great ball movement by the Vikings on that play, and Max Stewart almost came down with the offensive board, but foot was on the line, so that's going to go. Ball's going to go back to the Eagles with a 12-point deficit. They can cut it to 9 here.
And carrying this one across center court for the Eagles will be Washington. The pass out, and Grandy passes it.
Another turnover by the Eagles. Mullen wants the 3, tries to go up for it, but he gets caught midair and he throws it away.
And that one goes up and off the outside, and Rojan's driving. Rojan out to Tension. Tension with the wide open 3. Not too
After that first 3 by Tension, he just hasn't been connecting, but then there's Mullen. You would expect him to make that at this rate, but it rattles in and out, no cigar, and Grandy called for the offensive foul, just barreled the guy over.
Grandy will head over to the sideline. And this one will be brought into Washington. Washington will take it across midcourt. Pass off by Washington. Back to Washington. And this one to McCall. And Washington to Nassif. Washington. Washington with the shot. Beautiful 3.
The shot clock winding down. Washington chucks up a desperation, and he banks it off the glass.
It's a 9-point game. Los Altos getting their way back in this one. And this
Looks like Mullen's a little displeased. Rojan didn't give him the ball there, but he's been taking a lot of shots. Maybe it's time to spread the wealth, everyone, as he gets a nice pass out to Hull in the front court, and Hull puts it in. Great look there by Mullen. Great finish by Hull.
And the score will go to 51-40. Palo Alto leads. 5 team fouls committed by the Vikings. 1 by the Eagles. Los Altos with the pass over to Washington. And this shot will be taken by Brennan. And Mullen.
Mullen tries to crazy underhand pass. Not sure where he got the idea that would work, but it went off Los Altos player, so Vikings will retain possession, so not all bad on that play.
And the score remains 51-40 as it's brought in by Rojan. Over to Svirsky. Svirsky showing that strength. And the whistle sounds.
Rojan tries to go baseline. It ends up as Eagles ball. I'm not sure if it went out on Rojan or a traveler, some sort of play.
So you can see that is Washington carrying the ball up across center court. And Washington just waiting. Washington outside the arc. Washington passes it back to Washington, and it goes out of bounds. And Coach McFarland visibly frustrated now, slamming the ball on the ground.
It's just the silly turnovers by the Eagles are just piling up now, and it's gonna come back and bite him in the butt if they don't clean it up as this game is winding down. The start of the fourth quarter nears.
And Coach McFarland's using a little bit of language over there on the sidelines, clearly not satisfied with his team's effort today. Over to tension. And Rojan with the long three, almost in, bounces right out of the basket. To Washington. And I guess that's what you could call an obvious foul.
Svirsky knew he got beat, and he just decided he was going to hack him, and he got his arms in there, and no way Rosenbaum was going to make that.
And we'll get ready for the shot. And it's good.
Rosenbaum puts the free throw in. Now he's on 2 for 5. Still not a great percentage from the free throw line.
As you can see, that's Coach Scott Peters in the background of the women's team, who has been wiping the floor. And this one will be shot. And Rosenbaum with a nice one there, as it's a 9-point lead for Paly. And a little bit of physicality there as this one's out to Rojan.
15 seconds left in the quarter. Paly's holding for the last shot here.
And Coach McFarland is kind of losing it over there on the sideline.
Mullen had a really hot start to this quarter, but he's cooled off, missing about 2 or 3 in a row. He'll look to try to get himself back on track in the fourth quarter.
Definitely. Still by no means a poor performance. And Washington will not beat the shot clock. And that will take us to the end of the period. And that will take us to a message from our sponsor. And Pachi's began in the summer of 2004 in Palo Alto with an expert pizza maker with a passion for her fresh, deep dish pizza and genuine hospitality. Today, Pachi's delicious pizza and signature customer experience is a neighborhood favorite. When you walk through the door of Pachi's, you're in for a treat. When you sit down at our table, you're family. Enjoy a Pachi's pizza today. As you can see, Coach Adam Sachs talking it over with his players.
One has to wonder whether Sachs is going to stick to the offense or maybe try to put a couple of wrinkles in there that maybe the Eagles haven't seen in the first 7 quarters that they've played against Paly. Not much variance in the Vikings offense. They usually stick to the same game plan, sometimes to the approval and sometimes to the disapproval of the players.
And however, Palo Alto has really been down in the foul department with 6 fouls committed against only 1 for Los Altos. And that man right there, Mike Grandy, has been responsible for many of them.
It's going to be an and one for Rosenbaum. He takes it hard down the baseline, just goes into Grandy. Grandy stands still.
Coach Adam
And that's going to be a
Sachs
block.
not satisfied with Grandy's effort or the call by the refs. And Heck puts it, pardon me, Rosenbaum puts it through. And Mullen will be inbounding it as the lead has been cut to 6, as Los Altos, like a cockroach, will not be squished. That one will be brought out to Svirsky, and Svirsky with a not a particularly good effort. Really like to see Palo Alto bring it inside more later in this quarter if they plan to hang on to this lead.
Los Altos just likes to hang around. They haven't really been winning this game at all, except for the first 30 seconds. But they stay in the game. They don't go away.
And Palo Alto seems to not be able to figure out how to walk around Thomas Kelleher. Maybe Los Altos just stands in front of them.
Great look there by Mullen to find an open D's for the layup. Great finish by D's.
That one's passed back to Rosenbaum, but no.
Great effort by D's to come up with a steal, and maybe they'll slow it down here. Mullen wants the 3, pump fakes back to D's, and D's with a nice finish. Great little give and go by Mullen and D's.
D's puts it through. And just like that, the 8th team foul of the half by the Vikings. With just under 7 minutes remaining in the 4th period.
It's going to be 1-1 now for the Eagles. Some chance to get some free points on the board. With so much time left in the game, Vikings are in trouble here with all the fouls they've committed. They can't keep on committing fouls, otherwise it could be a long end of the game.
Definitely, and bringing this one in will be Patrick McCall. A big part of this Los Altos effort early on. Hasn't done so much as of late. And the lead is trimmed to 7. And if Los Altos comes away with a win here, that would be really letting them off the hook by Paly, as they have had their foot on their throat for almost this entire game, but just haven't been able to seal the deal. And we'll see if they will be able to late as the game winds away. And the pass back to Mullen. The shot from Mullen, beautiful.
Give Mullen an open look like that, he better hit it. Don't get many opportunities like that to convert such a wide open 3 in a game.
Definitely not, and Mullen having a very nice day. That one off to Svirsky. Svirsky passed it off to D's. D's to Svirsky. Svirsky back, and Rojan saves it. No, he did not save it, says the officials.
I thought that would have been off the Los Altos player. I thought I got a finger on it when he tried to intercept the pass, but maybe I'm wrong. But apparently Rojan didn't see that, or it was off a Paly player as he tried to save the ball.
Adam Sachs is yelling spring loose at his players. And Washington passed off. Kelly here. And that one goes back, and it's up, and it's in.
That was Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum's heating up here in the 4th quarter. He's got a couple baskets, a couple free throws.
And that one is passed off and almost intercepted, but it goes out of bounds as Palo Alto's a 7-point lead. Max Dorward checking in. Heading on out, Alex Dees. As we get ready for this one. Bringing it in will be Rojan. Dorward seems to be open. Definitely a pretty big mismatch with whoever Washington's on, as Washington seems to bear hug with Dorward there. Pass back to Mullen, wide open 3, does not convert. Mullen's got the rebound though.
Big shot there by Mullen, gets the offensive board, and no one on him, so he just pulls up and shoots it. puts it in. A big basket there
It's
as
a
Vikings
very
lead by 9.
long too, but as long as they come. Washington can't find an open man. And there's a break by Kelly here, but they do not find him. That one's passed off to Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum with the 3, no good.
Good box out there by Hull, and he gets the board and brings it down. In the transition, Max Dorward dishes off to Johnny Rojan with a great give and go. Rojan to Dorward, back to Rojan for the layup, and the Vikings are now up 11.
And a great job there by Palo Alto as they now lead 62-51, as we mentioned earlier, an 11-point lead with just under 5 minutes remaining. For those of you just joining us, I'm Alex Ross alongside Benner Mullen here with MC Sports as we get ready for the final minutes of this game. And the timeout continues as both coaches need to talk it over with their players after a very hotly contested last part of this game.
It's really important for Paly that they continue to play tough defense and hound the ball and crash the boards, as they need every rebound and every possession that they can get in the final stage of this game, as Los Altos, they won't go away. And so Los Altos will get back in here in this game if Paly doesn't try to close them out.
Most certainly. Los Altos got a knack for hanging around. Very scrappy team, if I do say so myself. However, as you can see by their raw size, typically what will happen in a game is that a team with less physical talent can stick around for a while, but ultimately, as both teams start to get tired, that's where the talent difference really starts to show, and one team tends to pull away. It hasn't been the case here tonight. The shot from over the left shoulder, no good. Pass up to Dorward. Over to tension and no good, denied by the rim.
Good look by Dorward, thought he had the layup, but then he dished it off the tension for the open layup, just couldn't convert it, but good play by Paly.
The shot and it's good. 54-62, Palo Alto leads with just over 4 minutes remaining in the game. Chance of defense fills the gym.
Tough shot there by Mullen. May want to take some more time off the clock before he lets it go like that. Up by 8 with under 4 minutes to go. You just want to conserve the clock and waste time as much as possible.
And off the rim, no good. Dorward carrying it. Dorward passed it off to Mullen. Back to Mullen.
Paly looking to set up their backdoor offense, see if they get a layup, easy layup off a backdoor here. Hull with an ill-advised pass on there. Tension seemed to be open for a moment, but then this man recovered and intercepted the ball.
And it's in the basket, and it is good.
Like we've said before, Los Altos won't go away. Once they're down by 11, they're down by 11. Now they're down by 6. They just come back every time.
And this one will be carried up. And no good. As Benner Mullen has got the ball again. Kevin Mullen, pardon me. Kevin Mullen, who's had a very productive night tonight, passes it off to Tension behind the back. Back to Tension, and Tension puts it in. 64-56.
Huge basket right there by Tension, put them up by 8 with just about 2 minutes to go. They get a stop here, a bucket on the other end. That could seal it for them.
And the pass off, back. Over to Cummigan. And Rosenbaum just can't find the space for a good shot.
Rosenbaum wanted the foul on that play, but the ref's not going to give it to him. Mullen tries to do a little too much, and he loses the ball, and Rosenbaum the other way. Gets an and one. Rojan wanted the charge, but the ref said he didn't get his feet set in time.
And not a good situation for Paly at all, as what we expected might happen really has shown up, as the players appear to be wiping off their shoes. And stepping up to the line is number 23, Dan Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum with a shot. No good. Wow. Ball goes almost all the way to center court. And Pyle in center court. And the timeout will be taken this time by the Eagles. As if one factor has really helped Los Altos stay in this one, it's the fact that Palo Alto has committed 9 fouls to their 1 so far in the second half.
Quick thinking on the Los Altos coach's part. Saw the balls on the ground, saw it was going to be a jump ball, going to be Paly's ball, so he calls the timeout and gives them the possession.
Certainly. As we get ready to continue in this one. And Svirsky leads his team back onto the court as they get ready to play the final minute 41 of this game, and for Los Altos, they certainly hope to avenge a tough loss to Palo Alto last time these two teams met, as Los Altos overcame a deficit but ultimately couldn't hang on to win the game. So Alex Dees came up and made 2 free throw shots to win the game.
Big possession here for the Vikings. If they can just hold Los Altos to a missed shot, get an offensive possession, and maybe take some time off the clock and get a basket, that'd be huge. Rojan pulls in the rebound, and he's fouled. It'll only be their second foul, so Vikings will have to inbound the ball at the end line and break the Eagles' press.
And Rojan just a little bit of slide there after he hits the ground. And that is only the second foul committed by Los Altos in this second half. Definitely a good job by the Eagles keeping this a clean game. And this one will be brought in by Mullen. Back to Mullen. Mullen showing that speed to Svirsky. Back to Rojan. Rojan to Svirsky. Svirsky to Rojan.
Los Altos opts not to foul, gonna hope for a stop against the Vikings. A basket here is huge.
And Palo Alto's really burning this clock.
Great drive by Mullen, and puts in the reverse layup. That could be the ball game. Up 8:45 seconds. Los Altos is in desperate need of a basket here.
Both coaches Sachs and McFarland getting very involved at this point. Both frustrated with their team's efforts late in this one.
McCall keeps him in the game with a huge 3 from the corner. I may have jinxed Paly on that. 30 seconds left, up 5 with the ball. They're gonna need to hit their free throws here.
It definitely looked like a mistake to choose not to foul back there. So Palo Alto was able to really burn some time off the clock, and they were able to get the 2. But that's the risk you run when you decide not to foul.
Coach Adam Sachs of the Vikings talking it over with his players, trying to draw up a good play so they can first get the ball over half court without a turnover, and then either stall or prevent Los Altos from fouling them. And because Los Altos has to get 5 more fouls before they're in the bonus, so that could be a tedious task for the Eagles here, as Paly will be able to take a lot of time off the clock. So I assume that Los Altos is going to be going for a steal real hard here.
Definitely the mouth guards are getting popped in as Los Gatos gets ready for what's going to be a tight final 30 seconds of this one. And the pass in. And Palo Alto lets themselves get fouled.
It's a foul on the call. Take about 4 seconds off the clock there, and they still got to get 3-4 more fouls before Paly in the bonus.
Yep. And that one will be passed in. And Los Altos is certainly making fouling look easy, as it looks like they may get Paly on the bonus. And that is 4 fouls in the half for Los Altos. And there is another, and that is the 5th foul. And they're over halfway there.
Mullen gets it to Rojan. Rojan's foul. I think if you're Paly here, you want the ball in the hands of Rojan or Mullen here. They seem to be the team's best free throw shooters. And you need at least 1 out of 2. Make this a 3-possession game. Or you need 2 out of 2 to make it a 3-possession game. And obviously that's what they're going to be looking for. Ball goes into Mullen. Now Mullen will be shooting the free throws. He needs to make both here. Or at least make the first, miss the second. 1-on-1, you can't afford to miss the first.
Definitely. As Palo Alto will get the bonus. And coming up on the line will be Mullen. Probably not who Los Altos wish to have go up there taking the free throws, but you take what you get.
Huge free throw there by Mullen as he puts that one in. Now all they gotta do is make this next one, and don't foul Los Altos, whatever you do.
And it's good, and that probably seals this one.
I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks good for the Vikings right now.
Definitely. As that will take us to a timeout. Both teams will go over and talk to their respective coaches. The foul count is now 9 for the Vikings and 7 for the Eagles.
I think the Eagles at this point, they're going to get a quick 2, quick 3, and then they're going to go for the steal on the inbounds pass. If they don't get it, they're gonna foul right away, because they got to get as many possessions as possible here and try to get these points back.
Certainly, we will see what the Eagles will do, but that would seem to be the best course of action for them. Although it's quite probable that regardless of the course of action, this game might as well be in the books. And Palo Alto gets ready.
Rosenbaum's going to take it himself. He pulls up for 3, and it's no good. Rims out. Rojan with a rebound. They're going to foul him hard. 14.6 left on the clock, and Rojan puts these away. It's over.
And with 14.6 seconds left on the game clock, Palo Alto trails 68-61. However, they've now only committed 1 more foul than Los Altos. Going up on the line now will be Rojan.
Rojan, typically an excellent free throw shooter. We just hope he makes these both these free throws right here.
And the first one's good. Number 2 is good.
Some clutch free throw shooting here by the Vikings. 4 for 4 on the line when it counts.
And Mullen gets fouled.
Really no need for a foul there. I mean, the game's pretty much all but over. Kind of unnecessary and pointless.
Certainly. And that will make the foul count even here in the second half. And going up to the line, that will be Kevin Mullen. Mullen nails the free throw, and that will give Palo Alto a 10-point lead, their largest lead in a little while. And make it 12. Make it 11, pardon me. And that will take us to the end of this one. And that will wrap up today's games on MC Sports. That was the Palo Alto Vikings girls varsity basketball team defeating the Los Altos Eagles girls basketball team in a what I guess suppose what you could call a blowout. And that was followed by a very tightly contested game, which was not done justice by the final score between the two boys teams, with Palo Alto also winning this one 72-61.
Two great games by the Paly varsity teams. The girls team, just an annihilation. They just severely outplayed Los Altos. Los Altos wasn't ready for Palo Alto. And in the boys game here, Los Altos hung tough for a long time, but in the end, Paly just outlasted them, and their shooting just prevailed over Los Altos' defense.
Definitely.
And
Once
Paly
again,
came up with clutch stops, and they needed to come up with a stop.
Definitely. Thank you all for tuning in on behalf of myself, my partner Benner Mullen, and the entire MC Sports crew. We thank you for watching this presentation of MC Sports. We hope you'll tune in tomorrow evening for tomorrow's game between the Palo Alto Vikings and the Gun Titans. Have a good night.